Five Nights at Freddy's.
What the fuck is you gonna do if I don't?
Exotic butters.
How did you get up there?
Among Us, Gregory.
It used to just be one game, and look what it's become. It's difficult to grasp, but at one point in time, the only Five Nights at Freddy's game was the first one. One last attempt by Cawthorn to make a living through making games after someone complained that one of his characters reminded them of an animatronic. Scott did what no one else would. He took this criticism and turned it into one of the most popular horror franchises of all time. With the first game being such a groundbreaking masterpiece that allowed Scott to make a living for himself, inspiring millions of others, and in a way, creating his own genre of horror. But is the game still good? Was it ever good? Or was this game just a fluke? Well, according to most people, no. This game was amazing, and still is to this day. In fact, I did a poll on which was the best Five Nights at Freddy's game, and the first game took nearly half of the votes. So, according to the Five Nights at Freddy's community, this game is a classic. Now, I played this game for the first time at 13 years old, around the time of the second game releasing. However, I mainly played only 1 and 3. I didn't really get into 2. And out of the 2 that I did play, 1 was easily the best. But why was that? Why was this game so good? Well, let's get into that. For starters, let's go back to 2014. The main horror games you were able to play involved you being trapped and needing to escape from something that was looking for you by running away. Slender, find the 8 pages and escape. Amnesia, escape. SCP, escape. You get the idea. It's still a very popular trend. Think Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime. You need to escape, get out. Now, imagine this. You beat up a brand new game called Five Nights at Freddy's, and you don't know what to think of it. You press the play button and you see the newspaper text, and the text for night 1 comes up, and you realize very quickly, oh shit, I can't move. Oh god, they're coming for me. I think it's safe to say this is a very different type of horror compared to what we were seeing before. You are trapped in a single spot while these animatronic characters come for you. You feel helpless. And that's what makes good horror. Making the monsters that are coming after you be animatronics was a great choice. They fall into the uncanny valley, and most people have an uncomfortable connection to animatronics. It brings a familiarity that allows this game to plant itself easily in reality, even though this idea could never happen. It's familiar enough that we can imagine it. Yeah, this is a possible scenario I could find myself in. I'll go more into the character designs in a minute, but I want to talk about the one thing this game has done better than any other Five Nights at Freddy's official game or fan game. The atmosphere. Now, I'm not going to go quite as in-depth as other YouTubers have. If you're interested, a YouTuber named Scruffy does a great job analysing the audio in this video and how it makes this game absolutely terrifying. So click the link in the description if you're interested. Besides that, the atmosphere in this game is amazing. Everything is real, yet unsettling. Everything is extremely garbled and you can't quite make out what's going on. The fan, it buzzes all night, making it hard to hear anything that's going on around you. And the camera feed is so low quality that you don't hear much from the source itself. The way you can hear the characters move through the halls as they approach your door is scary. Freddy's laugh is extremely unsettling, and the fact that the animatronics are sounding weirdly human is unnerving. You feel like you're trapped in a nightmare, yet it feels so real. The phone guy too is a great addition, and plants this story into reality even further and makes you more and more uncomfortable. Especially with that little disclaimer that Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible to damage to property or person and all that sort of stuff. You're not going to be found if you die. It leaves you with a lot of questions. What is happening? Why are they able to move around? Wait, what was that sound? Oh god, what happens if they get me? And the game gives you a rough in-game answer. What happens if you die? You'll be stuffed into a suit because you're, at least to them, you're an animatronic without a costume on. But you don't believe that. It's not a programming bug. It's something else. And with the enforcement of the hallucinations that flicker from time to time with "It's me" flashing on the screen, and oh god, don't even get me started on Golden Freddy, who in my opinion is one of the best characters in the entire franchise. His addition in my mind is just one of the best Easter eggs of all time. Speaking of which, let's get into the animatronic characters and their designs. All of them look amazing, and the characters are so well designed. You can feel each one's distinct personality before you've even gotten to know them. They look creepy, and in my opinion, the most realistic animatronics we have seen in the entire franchise. And yes, in comparison, there are a few fan edits that look more realistic. Let's think Juniors. But my point still stands. And the fact that these characters have such easy to remember names, and we don't actually hear them until the custom night, but when we do hear them, we understand everyone's name perfectly. It all makes sense. And even if you never get to the custom night and learn their names, you still develop that unique relationship with each one. One thing I love about this game, and one thing that many other Five Nights at Freddy's games fail to accomplish, is having every single character behave in a different and unique way. One of my biggest complaints about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is that out of the 11 characters, 9 behave like the same way. However, in this game, everyone is unique. And yes, there are some similarities, because, you know, they all come to your office and can approach from one of the 2 doors. But they're still complicated enough that you can develop your unique connection with each character. From my playthrough, this is how I sort of see it. Bonnie, the bunny, is playful, yet hides in areas no one else does. He's quick and definitely attacks the most often. Yet, in contrast to his outrageous behavior, he has the most simple designs, yet definitely one of the best designs in the entire series. Chica is more linear by comparison and just seems to wander slowly to your office. However, she is very unsettling. Definitely the creepiest design in my opinion, especially with her "let's eat" pib. You know, I remember seeing that and just wondering, let's eat? Let's eat what? I mean, to me at least, she definitely seems the most lost and not really sure where to go. Almost like a lost child. Oh, shit. I'll get to that in a sec. Foxy is the most unique, in that if you don't watch him, he will come out of his curtain ever so slowly until he sprints down the hallways as fast as possible and will slam into your door at max speed. His mechanic, by contrast, is the most simple, yet he definitely puts on the most pressure out of all the characters, knowing that he could leave at any time. Which leaves the star of the show, Freddy Fazbear himself. Being the last to leave the stage in a normal playthrough, he hides and seems to be the best at his job than others. In fact, I think more people have died to Freddy than any other character. I mean, when the power goes out, he kills you. I mean, just look at this stuff. Now, let's take a moment and talk about the gameplay, because for first-time players, it can be super stressful to comprehend what is happening and how to win. Now, obviously, for a lot of experienced fans, this game is easy, but difficulty can vary from person to person, and I won't be talking about ways people have broken the crap out of this game just yet. Bonnie will approach from the left door and more than likely teleports. Let's be real. When he gets to the left door, you'll see him when you hit your light. And if this happens, shut the door until you see his shadow leave, so you can open the door. Chica is similar to Bonnie, except that she's more linear, doesn't teleport, and comes to the right door instead. When you see her through the window, close the door until she's gone. Foxy will slowly peek his curtain out the more you don't watch him. Although I should note that Foxy is stored by any use of the camera, not just Pirate Cove, but that's just technical Marvel jargon. And when successful, he will run down the left hallway and attempt to get into your office. Close the door before he gets in the office, or, you know. Also, fun note, every time he hits your door, he takes a bit of power. So make sure you lock him down, otherwise you're gonna run out of power. And finally, Freddy. From night 3, Freddy will slowly make his way to your right door and tuck himself in the corner on the east hall until you look at a camera that isn't his. Make sure that the door is shut to prevent him from entering your office. Also, if you look at Freddy's camera directly, you'll stall him. And Freddy will also kill you if you run out of power. Which, I will say, the power mechanic is one of, if not the best addition to the gameplay, in my humble opinion. It makes every single action you make in this game become super risky. Way more risky than it was before. If you use the cameras too much, if you keep the door shut way too long, if you let Foxy hit your door too many times, you will run out of power. And if you're not already close to 6 AM, well, you're dead basically. This mechanic makes you have to play smarter and plan everything out beforehand. Otherwise you will run out of power, especially on the more difficult nights. This game's difficulty progression too is really good, and it does a great job introducing all the mechanics at a steady pace to prepare players for the final nights. And when the power does go out, you feel absolutely helpless. And as Freddy plays his music box as he stares you down, you lose all hope. The office design is simple, yet in my opinion, it's the most effective in the entire series. Besides maybe Pizzeria Sim, maybe Nights At Freddy's 4, but anyway, I'll talk about that in other videos. Having the doors on either side makes you feel absolutely helpless. You're trapped in a corner. There's nowhere you can go that is safe. Now, the big loud metal doors, obviously, you know, definitely seem to make you feel a little bit safer, but then you see the way Chica looks at you through the window and you think, really? That glass is going to stop her? And the way the animatronics actually look into the camera just makes you feel like you're always being watched. It makes you wonder, if the animatronics are just experiencing a programming bug, why are they doing this? There's something else going on, which this game definitely explores. Throughout the restaurant, posters will turn into missing children newspaper clippings, describing the horrific events of someone dressing up as one of the characters, leading 5 children to the back of the pizzeria and killing them. How the mascot started to reek. Did the killer hide the bodies in the suits? They were never found after all. Now obviously with the other games and 9 years of theorizing, yeah, we know all the answers. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be ignoring this because, yeah, I have my opinions on the story. I think the story was better when it was shrouded in mystery. I mean, even on night 1, we get told of a Bite of 87 event where an animatronic bit the frontal lobe off someone's head. Someone who survived. Now all of these story points are super unrealistic. Obviously, ghosts haunting animatronics and biting the heads off people and stuffing them in the suits. It's crazy, right? Or is it? See, that's the beauty of this first game. It's so close to reality that even when these unrealistic components get added, it still feels real. And that's what makes the horror in this game work so well. Everything fits into an uncanny valley from beginning to end, and you feel such a sense of dread all the way throughout. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have already typed in the comments, oh, this game isn't that good, I mean, it's so easy to break, and yeah, you know what, it actually is. A lot of the early Nights At Freddy's games are, and the main reason I didn't put this game into S tier was just because of how easy it is to break. I mean, you can beat 420 mode by doing nothing if you lower your frame rate. And even during normal gameplay, it's stupidly easy to beat. I mean, for this video, I actually beat it on my first attempt, not even actually trying that hard. It's a bit of a joke. However, unlike FNAF 2's one, I find this game to actually be a lot more fun, and I definitely still feel tense throughout. I still definitely am scared, not angry or focused. I don't know. And even though I know what I'm doing throughout, yeah, I still find myself feeling really uncomfortable throughout this entire game, which is what makes good horror. And even if you hate this game, you cannot deny the impact that it's had on the gaming industry as a whole. It sparked one of the most dedicated gaming communities of all time, especially with the lore of these games, and in another video I may decide to express my opinion on the lore and what I wish the story had been, but that's for another video. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and yours might be different, which is totally fine. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this game in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button to see more content like this. I hope you've all enjoyed my rant, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Also, let me know what game you'd like me to review next. I mean, I'm gonna get to all the games eventually, but if there's one that you want to hear me talk about sooner than later, just let me know. And remember, this is just my opinion. Please don't be offended if you don't agree. I literally am just saying what I think about this game. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm probably not, but, you know.